Love, beyond the divine passion celebrated in poems, is sometimes a burning and destructive fire that reaches the deepest roots of our soul. As you may have felt, this intensity of emotion, after a while, stops nourishing us and starts feeding on us instead, slowly consuming our very being. Physical and emotional exhaustion. When love becomes an illness, its symptoms spread through our body like a virus, loss of appetite and weakening. The longing for your partner feels like a knot in your stomach, like a swallowed bite that cannot go down. The body follows the soul's suffering. It weakens, shrinks, and becomes physically exhausted. Personality change and loss of control. Jealousy spreads like poison. We do things we wouldn't normally do, say words we would be ashamed of. We lose ourselves, transforming into someone else entirely, shaped by their presence. Seeing them everywhere. Mental obsession. The cruelest part is that every corner of the world seems to take their shape. Walking down the street, every passing shadow, every silhouette resembles them. In nature, in the sun, in the leaves, even in the frightening darkness of night, we see their reflection and get swept up in that intense flood of emotion. Our mind becomes a filter, constantly searching for their voice, their scent, their presence. It is like a spell. The fear of losing pain. The most paradoxical aspect of this state is the fear of losing even the deep pain we endure. While our hearts burn with this pain, we simultaneously fear its disappearance, its relief, because that pain is the final proof of their existence. If the pain disappears, it means they are gone, completely absent. That pain is the last fortress of the unique, toxic bond we share with them. Love is not a simple cold we can cure with a pill. It is a profound and challenging test, sometimes capable of collapsing the entire system of the soul, teetering us on the fine line between life and existence. Because we see love as someone coming to fill our emptiness, we are constantly searching for the right person, and when we find them, we become weak with the fear of losing them. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not shine with the light granted by others. Do not seek tranquility dependent on the help of others." This modern definition of love, according to the Stoics, is essentially a sickness, a passion, and a key to unhappiness. Today, we will put an end to this mental slavery. What is Stoic love? Stoic love does not deny the storm that makes the heart race at first sight, but it also does not accept being lost in that storm. For a Stoic, to love is not to be tossed by fleeting emotions, but to act consciously, doing what is best for the person you love. Love is seen not as a right, but as a trust. True Stoic love first accepts this: the feelings, decisions, and life of the person you love are not under your control. You do not try to hold, bind, or force them to stay by your side. You see the person you love not as property, but as a free spirit who chooses to walk beside you. You respect their right to leave or to stay. Because you know, no emotion held by force is genuine. To love as a Stoic is to make love fairer. There is no struggle for power, no looking down on the other. You take the feelings, boundaries, and needs of the other person as seriously as your own. Your relationship is no longer me-centered. It balances with a we consciousness. It is the stance of two people standing side by side, with equal rights and mutual respect. Stoic love chooses healing, not sharpening dull emotions. When conflict arises, the goal is not to be right, but to find truth and goodness. It is not about bottling up feelings, but speaking calmly and resolving. When the other person is hurt, a Stoic love says, "I understand you. Where did I go wrong?" instead of, "You're overreacting." Empathy lies at the heart of this love. Over time, most great loves begin like a lightning strike, powerful, sudden, and shocking. But the light of lightning is brief. A Stoic does not waste the energy of that first strike. They transform that emotion into understanding, respect, empathy, and virtue, turning it into a calmer, yet far stronger kind of electricity. When the initial storm passes, What remains is trust, loyalty, peace of mind, and true companionship. Stoic love does not say, I am in love with you, so I cannot let you go. It says, I love you, so I respect your right to be an individual, and I also protect my own inner balance. For this reason, to love as a Stoic is not merely to fall in love. It is to grow together, walking side by side while honoring both your freedom and theirs. It is a love that warms the first spark with wisdom, preserves it with patience, and multiplies it with empathy. And perhaps, that is why the longest-lasting love is Stoic love. The Stoic way to attract true love. True love is not a miracle that comes from outside. It is a balance built within. If the mind is restless, relationships will be restless too. But when the mind quiets, love naturally flows toward you. This is the essence of the law of attraction. What you seek, you become. As Aurelius said, the mind creates its own world through its thoughts. Lasting love is not dependency. It is a virtuous harmony between two free people. It is achieved not by searching for it, but by becoming worthy of it. To become the most attractive person and build a lasting bond, there are rules you must focus on. Rule 1. Be self-sufficient. The most attractive person is one whose peace does not depend on external circumstances. Experience love not as a form of completion, but as the union of two whole individuals. Rule 2. Judge your partner by their virtue. We do not regret loving someone for their virtues, rather than their appearance. Does this person make it easier for you to live a virtuous life? Rule 3. Let go of perfectionism. Instead of searching for a perfect partner, choose to be understanding and patient with their flaws. True love is accepting their imperfections rather than trying to change them. Rule 4. See forgiveness as an action. Instead of dwelling on past mistakes, choose to free your mind from that pain. Love blooms in a light and liberated mind. Rule 5. Respond with calm, break emotional dependency. In moments of anger or jealousy, pause before reacting. Consciously choose a response that aligns with virtue. Rule 6. Practice loss. Be grateful. Daily. Accept the reality that you may one day lose the person you love. This is not fear, but motivation to appreciate their presence every day. Rule 7. Stop focusing on the relationship. Shift your focus away from the relationship and return to your circle of control. Your own virtuous actions and philosophical growth matter most. Rule 8. Set realistic expectations. Love is not a constant, high-intensity emotional flood like in movies. It is the calm, the daily routines, and the accumulation of small virtuous acts. You don't have to live love in constant fear of loss. Love cannot chain you. On the contrary, it should set you free. For some, love is an escape from loneliness. For others, it is the only branch to hold on to amidst financial hardships and impossibilities. In such cases, relationships are built more on desperation than true love. If a person seeks refuge in love forced by circumstances, it is not love that enslaves them. It is the chain of those circumstances. Wherever a person is unhappy, they have the right to leave. It could be a job, a draining relationship, or a marriage that consumes the soul. Life does not offer multiple retries. It is lived only once. And to sacrifice this single life to a commitment whose price is unhappiness is a betrayal to both reason and soul. If love does not empower you, if it makes you feel worthless, if it strips you of your freedom, it is no longer love. It is captivity fed by fear. Remember, your most valuable possession is your peace. Do not surrender it to anyone's words, actions, moods, attention, or lack thereof. True love does not bring fear, it brings peace. True attachment is not captivity, it is freedom. True love does not diminish you, it elevates you. Life has no repeats. No one is obliged to complete this one-time journey with a chained heart, deprived of real love. This week, take 2 simple but life-transforming steps. First, start the very first second of that important task you've been postponing. Major changes do not always come in giant leaps. Sometimes just 1 second of courage can reshape a person's destiny. Second, stop asking what your partner should give you. Think about the dead end that the question, "What should they give me?" leads to. Expectations make you not calmer, but more dependent, more fragile. Instead, ask yourself, what virtue, what wisdom, what healthy choice can I bring to this relationship? Because true love gains value not from what is received, but from what is willingly given. Love is when two people choose to walk side by side without draining each other, without being a burden. The continuity of love is born not from passion, but from character. As you build your inner peace, your emotions become clear, your decisions become firm, and your love grows stronger. A person with a solid core attracts both the world and love toward themselves, not through fear, but through maturity,